Hey guys, Ron Zanut here. I've got a Koolance RP452X2 dual bay reservoir and a couple of MCP-655s, or actually these are Koolance's version, the PMP-450s, and I'm going to show you how to install the pumps in this reservoir. Okay, we have the pump. I already have a video showing how to take it out of the housing, so I'll put a link to that up there. And we have two of them here. They're both the Koolance version that has the RPM sensing lead on it as well. So this is the pump that's been removed out of this housing. And now we'll take a look at the Koolance reservoir. Also here we have a plug and some screws. Take out the pump. The reservoir. So there she blows. This is a really pretty, nice and hefty reservoir. And you have just one side that has a stopper, a block in it, a Delrin block. So if you're going to install a pump, you would do it first on this side. I'm going to install both pumps, although initially I'm only going to use one, but I'll show you how to install them right now. So first thing we're going to do is unscrew. Alright, maybe not. Okay, it was just in there nice and snugly. So just keep going counterclockwise. Until the ring comes out. And just cleaning off some of the there's an O-ring already installed inside here. You want to leave this O-ring in here. You do not want to use the O-ring that comes with the pumps. There's one, and when you disassemble this, there is an O-ring that sits around the outside of that, and that's the O-ring for this pump housing, not for your Koolance reservoir. So then all you need to do is put it in the bay, set it down. Now what I like to do is align the leads so that they come out towards the back, how I'm going to run the cables inside the back in the computer. So you pretty much, I think you can have them anyway, since they stand out the outside of this reservoir. So but it's just my preference. And so now what we'll do is we'll run the cables through here, and then screw back down the pump housing cover. Now since the pump's in there, this cover will push the pump down and seal up with the O-ring inside there. And you notice the pump really didn't spin or move at all. It stayed in there the whole time. Alright. Looks like we have one side in. And now I'm going to, we got to put the pump in the other side. In order to do that, you're going to take this collar off. And then I mentioned you have, there's a Delrin block in here. So if you're only using one pump, you install it on the other side and you leave this alone. But I'm going to be installing two pumps, so I need to get this guy out. There you go. And you have the lock out. Now you have the side for the other pump. And let's see if I can do this quickly. This is the other pump. Take off the other pump's collar. Really, and that's all it is. Here's the ring, O-ring in here that comes with this pump. I don't know if you can see it. I'm not going to pop it out. Sometimes they come out easily, but he's inside the cavity where it belongs. And we have a pump. And put it inside the back. Snake the cables through. And one of the things that's important is you don't strip the Delrin, otherwise you can have a leak. So when you put these collars on, make sure it's nice and smooth. It should screw on there real smooth. Now the other side was a little difficult to get off, but it went back on nicely and tightened it up fine. So when I leak test it, we'll see if we have any issues, but I don't expect there will be. Okay. So we have two pumps installed on the Koolance RP452X2 bay. Now, one of the things to note is if since I'm going to be splitting these reservoirs and using them for two different loops, I'm leaving it as it comes. But you can you could make this all one big reservoir, and you would have to remove this plug right here. This plug has a bar that goes through. It blocks water flow between the reservoirs. So that's one. And then if you're going to use these pumps in serial, I'm using pumps are going to be parallel since they're running two different loops, but you can connect them to use both pumps for your system. There is a 180-degree connector that you would then connect up. Actually, you take both of the plugs out and you put the connector here, and these two are open, and these are the ones that you would use for outlet into your loop and then coming back in. And then there's this, which I'm not going to do, but there is this. You see this little 180-degree loop that will go right here. That's where it gets installed. So you would take out that plug, install it in here, and then there's also a piece in here that you'll have to remove the faceplate, and then you'll have to go in and replace that block that's back there with this one. So the installation, and this might, I think this might be optional, but I've done it. I did it in my other build, and it works perfectly. And they also, this is the version 1.3 where they have it set up so it bleeds much more easily. There were some complaints on the first and second versions, version 1.1 and 1.2, that it was difficult to bleed this reservoir, but I really have not had any problems. I've used two pumps, and I have it in serial, and with the version 1.3 it bled without any issues. And so anyway, so that's how you would use this kit if you wanted to run the pumps in serial. Alright, so that's the RP452X2. Two pumps installed and currently still set up and configured to run in parallel. The way I have it set is there's going to be one loop here that's going to feed the loop from my CPU cooling, and then the other one is going to be feeding the video card loop. And if there is a chipset block from my motherboard, I'll add that to the loop side with the CPU. But for now, that's not the plan, because they don't have one yet. Thanks.